I am from Chicago. Uh, I was born in Chicago and for the first year lived with my parents in my grandfather's apartment, a flat, and my grandfather was an artist. So he would hang his paintings all over the walls. You'd have the smell of turpentine and cigar smoke, and I think it was a pretty good ingraining of enjoying, being in a studio and seeing paintings all the time. One of my first pictures shows me totally covered with mud. However, my mother did not get upset. She just hosed me down and laughed. And they always encouraged us as we were growing up to do artsy things, craft things. I mean, they bought us the Venus colored pencils and the paint by number sets. And I think that helped push me, in this direction. I didn't really do a lot of painting growing up. I saw my grandfather's paintings, but only tried it a couple of times myself. I was more inclined to draw. So I've wanted to do oil painting for a long time, but not until about 2004 was I able to get into it. My father had died. He had left us some money, and I was able to afford art lessons. And my dad would be the kind of dad who would say, do what you want to do. So I knew it was okay with him if I took art lessons. And so I studied with Keith Klein down in Florence, Kentucky. And then after that, I got into the Cincinnati Art Club. And then I've had opportunities to really do some serious study with Carl Sampson. He's been my teacher for the last several years, on and off, and a mentor as well. When I see an object that I like or that has an attachment, for me. For example, we lived in Pakistan for 10 years, and when I see objects brought back from there or something we might already have that reminds me of it, I want to paint it. My husband and son went back to visit, and when they came back, they brought these curly-toed shoes called kusas. And when I saw that, when they walked in the door, I said, mine. And so I painted a picture of them. What I do on Facebook is pretty much every day I find paintings and I post them. And they're a lot of times of obscure artists that not too many people have heard of, but their work's beautiful. And what's happening is that when I post a painting, I also include a tiny, tiny bit of history with it. I like to do that. Or I like to kind of think about it artistically and say, this is what I think about the composition or value abstract, behind everything. And so it becomes not only looking at the painting for people, but getting a little bit of education. And a lot of people like that. I've gotten to meet and to know artists that I certainly would not otherwise. I can ask someone, on a national level, could you critique my painting? And they say, sure. It's just amazing. And I think they challenge your ideas once in a while and make you think a lot more than if you were just alone in your studio.